everybody was calling NVIDIA the biggest earnings report ever anticipated and the most important thing in the market that's ever going to happen in the last 10 years. And quite frankly, it turned out to be a fuddy-duddy. Their earnings were spectacular. They beat up by every metric. They announced a 50 billion share buyback of stock. The one thing that wasn't up to par was their growth rate. The last 3 quarters, they grew like 200%, and this quarter, they only grew like 185%. So it's like the stock is spectacular. It's doing spectacular. It has been spectacular. It's up like 2,000% in the last 2 years. Not surprised to see it pulling back a little from its highs. It's also taking the market down a little bit from its highs. But this is a daily chart of NVIDIA. And I mean, you can see, just not too long ago, on August 5th, we were down in the 90s in this. Mm-hmm. And we went up almost 30% from there, from August, the beginning of August, beginning of this month. Mm-hmm. So natural to have a little consolidation here, to have a little pullback here. Nothing wrong with the stock. Nothing's changed fundamentally in any way, shape, or form. So, it wasn't as big a deal as everybody made it. This is the overall market. This is the SPY that we're looking at. It's almost the same exact chart, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because NVIDIA is in the S&P 500. NVIDIA is in the NASDAQ 100. So, and it's a big part of it. Between NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Google, what we call the Magnificent Seven, Amazon, they are a huge portion of certainly the QQQs. That's a NASDAQ 100, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's almost the same exact chart as NVIDIA. We made our lows at the beginning of August. We had a big run up, and now we're kind of just hanging out here, sitting in the middle of everything. The market's fine overall. We will be getting a rate cut in September. It's just a matter of how much it's going to be. Is it going to be 25 basis points? Is it going to be 50 basis points? My feeling is it'll be 25. They'll take it nice and slow when they start doing these things. That's usually what they do. I can tell you historically, and everybody's always afraid of interest rates going up. Historically, the market has acted better when they're raising rates than when they're lower rates. They've raised rates from 15 or whatever it was, 10 or 15 times in the last 2 or 3 years, and the market's made all-time highs. So historically speaking, the market usually does better when they're raising rates than when they're lowering rates. And this is just a chart of NVIDIA today. It's following every other chart. It made its highs earlier this morning. It's kind of just sitting here right now.
Can we say it's kind of on the daily NVIDIA one cup and handle? What, like with the today's?
Let's take a look.
I was thinking that yesterday or today it's shaped a little bit differently, I suppose. No.
Well, not really. I mean, what a couple handle is, guys, is like, it's almost like here. We're rounding down. This is the cup. This high is the handle. And that for that pattern to play out, it would have to get above the handle and keep going up. So kind of just sitting in neutral. It's not really any pattern here. We have some longer term support levels around 114. 93 is another long-term support level in NVIDIA. And you can see when we got down to that 92 range, that was about the recent lows. So right now, there's not a lot going on. This is also the last day of the month. It is the last of the big vacation weeks. That's it. It's over. It ends with Labor Day. So although I have to tell everybody, it has been a very busy and very volatile summer. It has been an unusual summer in that we've been very busy and we've been extremely volatile. I remember years past in the summertime sitting around doing nothing, just absolutely dead quiet for entire days. But we've had a lot of economic things coming out. We have a lot of geopolitical things going out. Even today during the day, let me get back to my 5-minute chart. A couple of times today, you will see that. Just get right here, hold on. That there was some international news. Something came out that Israel might be doing something, and we saw this big move down here. And then something else popped out. We saw this big move down here. Also, there is not a lot of volume today. It is one of the lightest trading days of the year, so things can move around a lot and not make much sense. As a trader, and this has been a very good trading week, Fridays, I always take it easy. We never want to do stupid things on a Friday so that it ruins our whole weekend, especially if we've had a good week coming into this. We kind of just sit back and relax and say, it's all right. We hang out, we talk to each other, we sing, and we play show tunes. So Fridays, we always take it easy. I don't want to get involved in anything that's going to ruin my weekend. That's just a good tip for everybody, especially if you've been doing well. A lot of people, I make all my guys as a matter of fact, I closed down my trading room before I came here, made everybody go home. I said, that's it. We had a good week. Go enjoy your weekends. So Fridays, generally, we just take it easy.
Right. Thanks for that tip. Today, we will talk about the managing open positions. And I would like to start with what's the common mistake you see that traders are doing on their open positions and how they can prevent from.
Yeah, do we want to talk about this as far as day trading? You want to talk about it as longer term trading? Because we can talk about both. I don't know what most people who are with us today are doing, if they're day trading or they're longer term traders. Let's talk about it from a day trading perspective to start with. Okay. So what I'm looking for when I'm day trading any stocks is price action, which is very, very important. I use all of my moving averages to find both support and resistance when stocks are trading up and down. Let's just go to NVIDIA, for example. Okay. And I look to make trades when my technical analysis tells me to make trades. So the biggest mistake that a lot of people make when they get into a trade, okay, and this is a common mistake that all beginning traders make, they'll lose too much if they're wrong, and they won't make enough if they're right. That is one of the biggest mistakes that traders make. Once you have some kind of technical analysis system that works for you, David Green does not have the holy grail of technical analysis. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as an automated trading system. That doesn't exist, okay? Although there's plenty of people for $49.99 that will sell you an automated trading system that claims to be 99% profitable. Guys and girls, if that existed, first of all, if I came up with that, I would never share it with anybody. I would be in my own little cocoon and be a billionaire. So it doesn't exist, right? So when I'm looking to get into a trade, it's always going to be based on my technical analysis. And what's up, Joan? And when I get into my trade, I'm going to let my technical analysis tell me when to get out of the trade. Not every trade that we do works in 10 seconds or 30 seconds. Some trades you have to be more patient in. And as long as it's not going against me, I will stay in that trade until it plays out, whether it's in my favor or whether I get stopped out and have a losing trade. Everybody has losing trades, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Again, there's a bunch of people who tell you they never lose on a trade. Nonsense. Right. Losing trades is part of trading, right? Everything we do is basically based on math, all right? All my moving averages that you see here, they're all mathematical equations. And when something hits one of my technical levels, all I am trying to do is put the odds of that trade in my favor working by using my technical analysis. I'll share all my moving averages with you guys right now.
9, 21, 35. No, sorry, 9, 15.
9, 15, 30, 65, and 200. Exponential moving averages. The difference between exponential and simple moving averages is not a lot, but by using exponential, it's a little more conservative. Things have to move a little more to get the exponential levels than they do to a simple EMA. So I use my exponential levels to get into my trades. My moving averages, all this does is show me support and resistance. That's all. And the basis for all technical analysis, guys, is support and resistance, right? When something comes down to a support level, we have to decide whether we want to buy it. And when something goes up to a resistance level, we have to decide whether we want to short it. 9, 15, 30, 65, and 200, Joe. Yeah. So all I'm doing by using my technicals is trying to put the odds in my favor of those trades working. Let's just get a for instance here, okay? And we're looking at the video right now, and we had a big spike up this morning, all right, all the way up to 120, 160. One of the things that I use to tell me when a stock might be overbought, too high, and a pullback coming, or oversold, too low, and a rally coming, is my relative strength index, okay?
Are you checking RSI on daily, David? Sorry to interrupt.
On what?
On the daily chart.
Well, we're talking about day trading right now. I'll show you a
Okay,
couple
got it.
where we're talking about a little longer term trading. Okay. But for day trading on a 5-minute chart, I'm looking for an RSI to be up between 70 and 80. That's a signal to me that we could get a turn in the stock. And if it's going down, I'm looking for it to be between like 30 and 20. 80 is the extreme on the upside, 20 is the extreme on the sell side. So we almost got to an 80 RSI up here in NVIDIA, okay? To me, that sets up for a short trade. When we get that RSI that's really stretched out. So just for example, let's say we shorted this stock at $121.70. Okay, I'm in the trade, 121.70. I am short for a technical reason. My RSI, I think, is too high and stretched out. I think we're going to get a pullback in the stock. And you can see what happened there, right? We got to that high RSI and we just went straight down from there. So let's talk about how I manage the trade when I get in it. How can I get the most out of my winner and lose the least on my losing trades? I know that the ATR in NVIDIA, and I'll talk to you about that right now. Yep. ATR is the average true range of a stock. What that measures is the last 14 5-minute candlesticks and what is the average range in those 5-minute candlesticks. And I will use that to figure out my stop order and my profit targets, okay? So in NVIDIA, I know the ATR is around 75 or 80 cents. It's not that great. That's why I like trading in a stock like this, because my stop order is going to be based on the ATR. So I know I'm not going to risk more than 70 or 80 cents on this trade. So if I'm in at 121.70, my stop's going to be at 122.50. If it goes there, my technical didn't work that time. It's going to happen. I got stopped out of the trade and I lost 70 cents. But let's talk about the other side of it and how much money we should make when it starts going in our direction. I am a big believer in always taking some profits soon. I want to be green in my trade when I'm right. And then what I want to do is once I turn green, I want to bring down my stop order so that I can't lose money on that trade. So in NVIDIA, I would probably looking to make on this trade between 50 cents and $1.50. Okay, I can't expect to make $10 on a stock that has a range of $1. Right? So you have to adjust your expectations based on how much your stock moves that you're looking to trade. So let's say I sold 100 shares up here. Great, I have my stop order. When this goes down 50 cents, which it did right here to 121.20, I will take off 1/3 of my trade. Okay. So let's say I'll use 300 shares just to make the math easy for everybody. So I bought 100 shares down 50 cents. I am up $50. Good. I immediately lower my stop order so I can't lose money. This is trade management. When it goes down $1 to 160.70, I will cover another third. So I just made $100 on my second 100 shares. Now this is important for the last part of your trade. I'm going to let my technical analysis now tell me where to get out of my last part of my trade. And here, this is where we shorted it. And if we look right here, this is a support level. This is my 15 EMA on my 5-minute chart. Can it go back down lower from there? Yes. But my plan would be to get out on this support level. I sold it on a resistance level. I want to get out of my whole trade on a support level. And this, my friends, was down $2.10 from where we got in the trade. So this is how you get the most out of your winning trades. Always take some profit, take a little more profit, use my technicals now to tell me where to get out of that trade. So on the last part of this trade, let's say I made 2 points, $200. I have made, and again, this is all hypothetical, guys and girls. We're just showing you how to manage your trades correctly. I made $350 on that trade, and it took 6 minutes. Literally. These are 5-minute bars, okay? So when you get into a trade for a technical reason, always take some profits right away, okay? Lower your stop order so you have no risk on your trade anymore. Those are the trades I love to be in, where you've already put some money in the bank. You're nice and confident now. I can't lose money on this trade. And then let the technicals play out and see how much more you can get at, okay? So that's what I do for my day trades, right? I want to show you some longer-term trades, and I'll show you something that we looked at yesterday. And this is a particular pattern that I love very, very much. And it works a lot more often than it doesn't. So let's talk about this one for a couple minutes. Because there's a lot of people, I do day trading, I do swing trading, which is what I'm going to show you right now and show you how to manage that. And I also do long-term investing. Okay. 3 completely different things. So let's go to our daily chart. PDD came out with earnings a couple of days ago. I'll be quite honest with you guys and girls. Okay. I have no idea what PDD does. None whatsoever. And there'll be plenty of times I trade stocks that I don't even recognize the symbol. Okay. But I'll still trade this stock if it sets up technically for me. Is it possible for a day trader to start and make some money without short selling? It is possible, but why is the reason you're asking that, Madeline? Because you don't understand being short or you're afraid to be short? A lot of beginning traders don't understand what shorting means or they're afraid to be short. I'm telling you guys all this right now. There's no difference between a long trade and a short trade, okay? When I get into a long trade, I want it to go up. When I get into a short trade, I want it to go down, okay? Technically speaking, when you get into a short trade, your risk is unlimited because the stock can go up forever, right? But I'm going to have a stop order, so that's not going to happen to me. I'm going to have a plan when I get in a trade, whether it's a long trade or whether it's a short trade, okay? And by not doing the short trades, Madeline, you're missing half of your trading opportunities. It is not something to be afraid of, okay? It's just the other side of the coin. I am short as many trades as I'm long as many trades. Joan, I don't use MACD, but I can tell you that MACD, Bollinger Bands, relative strength, they all measure the same thing. They all measure whether a stock is potentially oversold or overbought, too high or too low, okay? If MACD works better for you, right, I'm just telling you what I use. I use pivot points in addition to this, okay, and I use relative strength. Look, the bottom line is you have to have some kind of system when you guys are trading, whether it's long-term, short-term, whatever it is, okay? You got to have some kind of system. And then the most important thing is to follow the rules of that system, whatever it is, okay? And like I said, nobody has the holy grail. I know that by using the things that I use, I am right a lot more than I'm wrong. So I have found the system that works for my trading style. And that's what everybody has to do. You have to find the system that works for your trading style. But I'm begging you to find a system, all right? Otherwise, we're just throwing darts on the board, and you can get lucky for a little bit, but over the long run, you're going to end up not doing very well, okay? 100%. So this is a setup that I look for when stocks come out with earnings, where there's news out in the stock, and it moves a lot over a multiple day period, okay? So what I look for, and PDD had earnings out, and you can see we gapped down from $139 to $88. So in 3 days, the stock went down $50, okay? $50, that's like, I don't know, 35 or 40% of the entire company's worth. Yes, the earnings were horrendous. They were horrible, okay? What I look for in this is when a stock like this comes out with earnings and goes down 3 days in a row, okay? Usually when this happens, guys and girls, day one, institutions, retail traders sell it, okay? But I'm not going to sell all of it because I want to see what happens after this. The next day, oh my God, I'm not getting a bounce. It's not going up. Let me get out of what I bought this day. And usually by day three, there's an old Wall Street saying, we call it the 3-day rule. Usually by day three, everybody who's wanted to sell this stock has just thrown the baby out with the bathwater, gotten out of the trade, and that's when you're going to see the stock bounce on day three. And if you look on my daily chart, the relative strength got down to right about 20. Okay, so now it's telling me that it's oversold. That's my marker to tell me that it's oversold. Great. So this is a trade we looked at yesterday, and we got involved in it right around the 89 and 88 level. Okay. Today, the stock is up to 97. So this stock has gone up $10 in 2 days. This is what I call a swing trade. Okay. It's when you see something down at least 3 days in a row and gets really oversold. How do I manage this trade? Because this is very, very important. Okay. What can I expect to get out of this profit-wise? It just went down $50, right? I have a plan for that. It's called retracement. Okay. So what I look for in a situation like this, the stock went down $50. Okay. you can expect, and again, nothing is set in stone. This could have kept going lower and I would have got stopped out of the trade. I'm always going to have a stop no matter what kind of trade it is, whether it's a day trade or a swing trade or even a long-term investment, right? You gotta have risk. Risk is the most important thing when we're talking about any kind of trade, right? But I've seen this movie about 1,000 times before, and I can tell you it works more often than not, and that's all I want. I just want the odds in my favor when I see something like this happen. So we had a $50 move down. Generally speaking, we can expect between a 30 and 50% retracement of that move down. It's Fibonacci's, it's retracement, and it works a lot more often than it doesn't, okay? So if I'm long this stock at $88, a 15-point move off that brings me like to 105. That could be my first target for it. But because I'm up $10 in one day, guys, or 2 days, I'm going to sell some for a $5 profit. I'm going to sell some for a $10 profit, just like I would a day trade, okay? So I got 5 points yesterday, 10 points today. Now I'm going to raise up my stop. My average is 89, right? So I'll raise up my stop to like 93 now. And if it goes back down, I'll lock in a $3 profit on the last third of my trade. I still have a third left, and my target's going to be around 105 to 110 on that last third of my trade. So this is, again, managing a trade in a swing trade, something that I'm going to hold on to for a couple of days. So it's different managing a day trade. I look at the ATR, how much can I get out of that per trade. Don't get into a NVIDIA expecting to make $5 on a trade. It doesn't move that way, right? Yeah. Don't get into Tesla expecting to make $5 on a trade. It doesn't move that way. If you're a day trader, day trading to me is all about making little bits of money, multiple days in a row that add up to larger amounts of money at the end of the day, the week, the month, the year, okay? I'm not even sure how many people are day trading that we talk to every week. It is my main. That's what I do basically all day long, okay? I am a singles and doubles hitter. I've been for 35 years, guys and girls. I worked on the floor in the New York Stock Exchange for 20 years. I was a specialist broker, so I was making markets in these stocks back then. And I always wanted to hit singles and doubles. Just a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. That's all I look for. So when you get into a situation like this, you can expect a 30 to 50% retracement of that move, and you start taking profits as it goes up. Okay, does anybody have any other questions about anything? Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Barris, you got more you want to ask? I know we got a few minutes left.
Yeah, I was going to ask where the trailing stops. Are you using trailing stops in your open positions? Or?
Everything I do, 100%. Every trade I get in, if it's a short-term trade, let's go back to short-term trading. Let's go back to video. Okay, so I'm looking at the video right now. I have let me go back to the 5-minute. I'll show you, and I'll explain my trailing stop orders 100% because I use them on every single trade that I do.
Do you have specific percentage for that, or it depends on the stock?
Depends on the stock. And again, I'll kind of base it on the ATR, right? Okay. So let's look at the video right now, okay? It is in a downtrend, right? We can clearly see it's in a downtrend. So my technicals told me to short it around 118.45. That is my 15 EMA. That is resistance as we're going up to hit that level. This is a trade I would have made at 118.45. So I would look to take 50 cents off of my first part of this trade, okay? And then I'm going to trail my stop down from a losing trade to a break-even trade. When I get $1 profit on it, I'm going to move my trailing stop down to lock in a 50-cent profit. When I get $1.50 or $2 profit, I'm going to trail my stop down to lock in profit as it keeps going in my favor. So yeah, I'm using trailing stops on every single trade that I do, whether it's a day trade or a swing trade. Okay, so Randy, my profit target for a swing that hasn't gapped down, I'm not going to be doing it, Randy. I'm not going to do a swing trade in any stock unless, here's my rules for a swing trade. Minimum of 3 days down in a row. Okay, let's go to PDD again. Go to our daily chart. And I'll give you my rules that I look for. Okay, so what I look for, what we look for, what my technical analysis tells me is I need a minimum of 3 days in a row down before I start looking to swing it, and the relative strength below 20. So if something hasn't gapped up or down, it's not interested to me. If, however, Randy, like you said, if it's just trending up or down, I will stay in a trade that's trending until it breaks the trend that it's not trending anymore. So my stop order on a trend trade will be when it breaks that trend, whether it's a day trade or a swing trade. So if you've swung a trade that is in a nice uptrend and is going up every day, right? I wouldn't get out of it until it breaks that trend and tells me that it's not holding that trend anymore. Perfect. Exactly. Yes.
Multilingam says, can you please share any links for setting up hotkeys? Are you asking for that Zero Pro or which platform, Multilingam?
Yeah, hotkeys on which platform?
Yeah.
Because it's different on every platform.
Definitely, yes.
But you can set up hotkeys on TradeZero, I'm assuming, right?
Sorry again?
Can we set up hotkeys using TradeZero? Yeah, you absolutely can. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a whole tutorial, guys, to walk you through exactly how to do it.
There is a video for setting up hotkeys on Zero Pro, and you can watch that on the YouTube channel. Also, some of our partners, like Humble Trader, they have their own setups for charting or hotkeys. You can find that as well. Yes, TradeZero. Let me see on the YouTube. David, do you have any final golden nuggets for us from today's session?
I'll leave you guys what I always leave you with. My final golden nuggets is, if you're going to be short-term trading, please find some kind of system that works for you. I don't think look, we want everybody to open up accounts with TradeZero, okay? They are the only platform that we recommend, and me and Peter do not do a lot of collaborations at all. We're very careful and picky about who the people we do business with. TradeZero is the best as far as trading platforms are concerned. My advice to everybody out there is this should not cost you a lot of money to learn how to do, okay? Find that system that works for you. Crawl before you walk. Trade one share at a time if that's what you have to do. That's what I always tell anybody that we teach how to trade, anybody that's in the private trading room. Just go slow. It should not cost you a lot of money to learn how to do this, okay? There are a million people out there who are willing to teach you how to do it. Be careful with that also. Maybe make sure you get yourself to the right place, okay? There's no automated trading system. That doesn't work. It doesn't exist. I don't believe in signal trading. They're not teaching you anything. They're just telling you where to buy something with no skin in the game. So go slow. Be kind to yourself when you're learning how to do this, okay? It's a lot and it takes a long time. And just don't lose a lot of money when you're starting to learn how to do this. That's my best advice.